Good evening, everybody. My name's Joanne Csazar, and I'm your host tonight at Spiritual Psychics TV. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. It's my very first time, and it's the very first time that the Talking Teacups are going to be demonstrating their ability and agility in giving psychic and mediumistic readings. Let me tell you, the Talking Teacups are actually registered with a trademark. They are registered as a unique style of psychic reading. If I just start whilst people are coming along and just tell you a little bit about me. I was born the grandchild of an absolutely wonderful woman. She was very trusted in her community as a medium, a healer, and a tea leaf reader. And the great blessing that I had was that I was taught that living alongside spirit was absolutely natural. It was second nature. So I've never questioned spirit, and I'm now in my 31st year of demonstrating mediumship across the church and spiritual groups in England and a little bit of Wales. In my spiritual expression, besides readings and as a psychic and a medium, I have a deep commitment to trance mediumship, and I mentor and teach trance mediums, and I'm also involved in quite a unique trance duo. But I do love my tea leaf reading, and that is part of my heritage, is the tea leaf reading. And the Talking Teacups were developed from my tea leaf reading practice. First of all, on clients, they were tested worldwide because people wanted tea leaf readings, and I wasn't quite confident enough to use the technology like I am now. So my clients have basically been gathered from 75 nations, including Uganda, Haiti, Namibia, Azerbaijan. I don't know how they found me, but spirits made sure that they did. So the Talking Teacups, let me give you a little précis. They sort of work along the lines of the tarot, where some of the cups represent archetypes or situations or emotions. And then to be able to get that full range, I haven't just got 78 like a deck of tarot. I've actually got over 300 working teacups. And tonight, there's a selection of 50 available for your choice, and I'm hoping that Richard behind the scenes is going to be able to pop a photograph up to show you the ones that I've got, because I can't quite get the camera angles ready. And the Talking Teacups are predominantly psychic in their nature, but as a medium, I'm always open for spirit to join in for a chat. So some of the cups, more than others, are like a portal, a doorway, opening and allowing spirit to come in and chat with us. Right, so that's basically me. I'm going to pause and just say some hellos if I'm sure Richard knows there's people there already waiting. I can't quite see that. So good evening, Sally Worker. It's nice to have you here. And Hazel Harrison, good evening, my love. Welcome. Heidi Spicer, oh, what a lovely name. It's nice to see you here, sweetheart. And Vivian McIntosh. I hope none of you have got a name as difficult to pronounce as mine. Terry Wall, hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for welcoming me. That's really kind of you. I'm really looking forward to this evening. It's a new way of working for me with all the technology. And Alison Barton, thank you very much for your welcome. Tina Place, good evening. And thank you for liking and sharing. And Pamela Roger, thank you. And I'm sure if Richard was able to, he'd wave at you. And Lisa Paris, good evening, thank you. Your hair's beautiful on your photograph. Stacey Shaw, welcome, thank you. And Cameron De Silva, welcome, thank you for coming along tonight. Oh, Lauren exclamation mark. Hi, sweetheart, it's lovely to have you here. Yeah. Hi, Hazel. Oh, that's a road, that's a coal seam. Hi, Hazel. Good evening, Hazel. And Christine Murray, hello and welcome. Dinah Reedman, hello, sweetheart. Very nice to have you here. Oh, cracky, there's quite a lot of you. And a gentleman, Gary. Good evening. Right, guiding sensors. Good evening. Oh, right, I've just heard guiding sensors. The lady is actually a host on your channel, so it's nice that you've come in to watch and support me. Thank you very much. Right, and Eileen Mackey, good evening. And Tracy Bain, good evening, my love. Ah, Veronica, the lovely Veronica. Nice to see you, sweetheart. Thank you for coming in to support. And Linda Banks. I know a Linda Banks. I'm not sure if you're the same one. But good evening. And Daniela Saturato. What a beautiful name, and I've pronounced it wrong. I'm sorry. And Rachel Knox. Good evening, my love. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Cherie Dyer. Oh, Cherie speaks my language, lovelies. And Mary Dixie. Good evening, sweetheart, and welcome. Thank you for coming along and supporting. And Rhonda Robertson. Good evening, sweetheart. Thank you for your support. It's very much appreciated. And Kelly McKeating. Thank you. Right, okay. Right, so let's get started. I would like to start with what I would call an invocation. And it's just very simple. We invite Spirit to draw close, joining with us in this gathering as we blend with open, compassionate hearts, with the intention of supporting, reassuring, and encouraging each other in the challenges of our earthly lives. Okay. So the way that I've agreed with Richard, we're going to do this, is he's got a numbered list of all the people who are watching. And I'm going to ask him, well, who've subscribed and are watching, and I'm just going to ask him to tell me the name that's allocated to a particular number. And we're going to keep this as random as possible. So I'm not looking at anything, trying to pull any information from anybody before I get a number for the cup. So what I'd like Richard to do is tell me the name of the person who's number 12, please. Right. Right, Cherie Dyer, you're the first one. What I would like you to do is tell us a number between 1 and 50, please. And then each teacup has been allocated a position, okay? And when you tell me that number, I'll count the cups out and we'll work with that cup. That cup should be able to tell us what's happening for you at the moment, what your struggle is, and where we're going. So a little bit of advice. So it's like a challenge and an advice, okay? And we'll just hope that Spirit come in as well. So I'm just waiting for Cherie to pop a number between 1 and 50, and I'll get cracking. I don't have to stop and say, is that right? Do you understand? I usually just rattle through, and then we'll catch up with the comments afterwards. Number 32, 10, 20, 30, 1, 2. Okay, my love. Right, let's get this right. You have picked a really pretty little art deco cup, okay? And this cup tells me that you yourself are very much in need of healing. You really need to get those boundaries in place so people just leave you alone so you can get yourself balanced again. You are very much looked upon as a listener and the person who you know, the go-to woman if people have got a problem. But I'm getting the impression from this cup, and it's shaping that what's happening to you just lately is you are really struggling listening. You don't want to listen because you are so needy yourself. And I don't mean that rude, but sometimes we do just need to recharge ourselves first. Okay. I know that there are people around you who are poorly and they do need a lot of support, but I do feel that they can actually be encouraged to do a little bit for themselves rather than put the burden all on you. Okay, this cup's very much about sowing seeds, and we know sometimes that we sow seeds of ideas and they land on very stony ground and having very deaf ears and very closed minds. But what I want to say is you have been sowing these seeds, and it's only these last 3 days. We're on Wednesday now, so it's only since Sunday that you have seen a little glimmer of hope, as if one of those seeds has actually set and started germinating. Don't worry if somebody gives you an idea, tries to sell you an idea, and you think, oh, wait a minute, that was my idea. It doesn't matter, it's working, okay? And once we've got one seed sown and one little plant germinating, then it'll come in and there'll be more seeds sown from that. Okay, this might just be the message from you that give me a bit of space, give me a bit of space. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about Mum's passing, and that those anniversary dates are really difficult. We never quite know how we're supposed to act or behave or feel on those days, and sometimes, my love, the few days leading up to it can be worse than the actual date itself. But sow those seeds, you know, remind everybody it's coming up. I will need a little bit of space on that day and put it in. But I feel this is more long term as well for you, where you need to be letting people know what it is that you want, getting them to look after themselves and support themselves a little bit better. Right, okay. Now I can feel a lady, which she feels quite heavily. Right, she just told me off, that's easy. I want to say heavily set. All right, she's a nice, a full build lady, and she's making me feel as if she's got a cough, but it's this part of her chest, so it feels like quite a dry cough the way she's giving me it. All right, she would have actually been in a lot of discomfort around her chest, this lady, God love her, and I want to right, I feel as if I'm a bit wobbly on my feet as well, as if she'd tumble a little, not tumble, but she'd wobble and have to grab hold of a piece of furniture. Right, I've kicked my slippers off under this table, and she's making me want to put my slippers back on. So she would have said, you need a pair of slippers, put your slippers on. I've done as I'm told, but I feel with this lady, firm but fair. I feel even if I cross, you know, even if you crossed it, I don't feel you got the full wrath. I do feel that she bit her tongue a lot, this lady. All right. Right. I've also got, she's given me a lot of wheezing, so there was breathlessness as well as the cough. And she's telling me that when she came near to her time for passing, she couldn't get the words out. It's like I get 2 or 3 words out, and then I'm wheezing and I've lost my breath. And it's right. What she wants me to say to you is you're getting a little bit stressed, and it's difficult for those words to come out how you want them to be said. And she's just saying, get them said. All right. It's like she makes me feel as if you're walking round on eggshells, or you are very aware that you are so irritable that you might challenge people in a way that isn't productive. And she's just saying, get the words out, get the words out. I want to say that there is somebody around you who is a little bit a law unto themselves. Okay, they only do their own. They only do their own thing, and she's just saying, let them get on with it. Let them get on with it. All right, right, okay. Right, I am sorry. I'm just seeing the comment that your mum had emphysema. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. It is an awful condition, and it is not very nice watching people and caring for people who have emphysema. They are quite up and down a lot. But will you please take her love and just know that she's just popped in. It's only a short message, because what I do with the talking teacups in a demonstration like this is get around as many people as I can. And I really would like for you just to set those seeds of thought, remind everybody it's coming up to the anniversary date, and tell them what you need or you feel you might need on that day to help yourself heal that little bit, get them to take the pressure off you. Okay, bless you, sweetheart. God love you, and thank you for agreeing to let me do a Talking Teacups reading with you. Richard, could we have number 17, please? Okay. Right. Richard's just going to find me the number 17 person, and when I say your name, I want you as quick as a flash to give me a number between 1 and 49. And I'm just going to have a... Excuse me, I'm just going to say a couple more hellos, and there's Janine White. Good evening, my love. Thank you for coming along. And Christine Lacey. Good evening. Diamond Deb. No, Diamond Deb, you won't have seen a reading like this. They're absolutely unique. It's a creation between my grandmother in spirit, Mr. Csazar's grandmother in spirit, and me. They really wanted me to be able to do something quite different with this obscene number of teacups that I possess. Good evening, Holly Roberts. Nice to have you here, sweetheart. And Sabrina. Right, Sabrina, the Talking Teacups won't answer questions like that. Bilal, Noreen, no, I think it's Noreen. Good evening, sweetheart. Nice to have you here. And Ruth Townsend. Good evening. Welcome, sweetheart. It's lovely because I'm listening to Richard in the earpiece. I'm actually listening to Richard counting one by one. It's lovely. He's very good at mathematics. Oh dear, send him back to school. Oh. It's Terry. Right, Terry Wall, my love, will you give me a number between 1 and 49? You were 17 on the list there of watchers. So just between 1 and 49, and then I'll get cracking. Whilst I'm just waiting for Terry, actually, Richard, if you find me the next one who's at position 23. You can't give me that yet. Right. Right. As I start to say thank you to Terry, will you find me number 23 then? That means you're listening. Keep you on your toes, Richard. Okay. So just number 14. Right, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Teacups are actually more resilient than you think. I do drop these a lot and bounce them around and throw them in boxes. Right. Terry has picked this lovely cup. It is a early 1930s design. It's very unusual in that the flower is a poisonous flower. It's poison ivy. Okay, and what I'm going to say straight away is, Terry, you're having to build a little bit more structure of boundaries around you, because there has been somebody who's been working very hard to get under your skin. Okay, whoever this person is, what I want to say about them is I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to find polite words for you, Terry. Right. They're presenting as one thing, and they're certainly not. Okay, so there is an ulterior motive for their behaviour, although other people look at them and go, oh, aren't they lovely? Okay, this individual seems to be getting under your skin. They know that you're having some ups and downs, some things that you're having a little bit of a challenge with, and they are getting in there and they are trying to make it worse on purpose. Okay, Now, what I've got with that is that you're in response, you are becoming quite spiky in your nature. And I'm not saying it's nasty, and I'm not saying you're a horrible person. It is a natural response when we feel threatened to get spiky with our energy, with our words, with our thoughts. And this person is provoking you. I know that. It's also making you feel a little bit presenting in not in your best light with other people. So whatever this person's doing with you, Terry, is spilling over into other aspects of life. But it is all about boundaries, making sure that your boundaries are there and up there and over the top as well. Really, really important. And for yourself, for bringing yourself back and finding that balance, just one step at a time. This is something that I feel for even for a couple of 3 weeks, you're still going to be gnashing your teeth about them, and just having a real mutter. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to get back into your rhythm. Okay, it's like they're going all out actually, and I don't need to be polite. Well, you never know. I never know if the other one's listening. You see, but it's really important that you centering and grounding, bring yourself back to your bubble. But as soon as you start to relax again from that position, you'll find that that person is there as an irritant, and it really, really needs nipping in the bud. I also feel that this person's leaving quite a trail of, polite word, doo-doo behind them, and you're having to wade through that as well, because I want to give you a pair of welly boots to get you through. Yes, definitely a pair of welly boots. I want to give you number 5. I'm not very good at numerology, but for me, number 5 is a halfway house. It's not quite there, not quite there. And there's only one way to go, Terry, and that's forwards. But we're certainly not taking the angst and the distress and the upset that this person causes with us. Kick it into touch, leave it behind, get those boundaries in place, do your psychic hygiene, and treat yourself kindly, please, Terry, because it's one of those irritants under your skin, will be there for 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so that's yours for you, Terry. I hope that's been helpful. Have I got a communicator? Right, I can feel a gentleman's energy. He is feeling quite, I'm going to say slender to average build. He's quiet, okay, because he's not coming right into my aura. He's just stood on the edge as if to say, I'm watching, okay. I feel with this gentleman that gentle support, all right. He's watching, he's not missing a trick, he knows what's going off. Right, he's just said, but I'm not taking sides. Okay, he says, I'm not taking sides. Right, he says, okay, what he said is he's not going to wade in with lots of energy to help you, because you know what you want to do with this situation. And so this gentleman in spirit is not going to interfere, but he just wants you to know that he's watching. And it's one of those, when something happens and you go, I'll remember that, I won't forget that in a hurry. He makes me feel as if somebody's chalking up a mark against this offender. All right. Thank you very much, Terry. And bless you. Thank you for letting me do a teacup reading with you. Richard, if I could have the person who's at number 23, please. And all right, it was Richard. I picked him. Right, he's gonna let somebody else have a go. So, all right, okay. Right, okay. Richard, are you in a position to pop the photograph back up again? Okay, okay. Michelle, I'm a bit lost about what tonight's show's all about. Okay, I'm a tea leaf reader, and one of the things that has come out of developed out of my tea leaf reading practice is the talking teacups, which is a registered trademark, unique style of psychic reading. And so instead of putting the tea leaves in the cup, I can do the readings with just the cup. So I have a selection of over 300 what I call working cups. Each one's different in its design. Each one means something different. And I have brought tonight an arrangement of 50 teacups. And so what's happening? Richard's picking, I'm selecting a number. We're going to keep it as random as possible. I'm selecting a number. Richard tells me who's at that position number in the watches, and then I ask them to choose a number from a number range. Every time I do a reading, the range of numbers drops down by 1, because as soon as the cup's being used, it's out. It then gets washed up. Later tonight, it'll get washed up, and then it'll be put to bed in the box with all the others. So who's at number 23, Richard? That's all right, Cheryl. What's Cheryl's last name? Cheryl Bendenack. Ah, there she is. Hello, my lovely. I would like you to choose a number between 1 and 47, please. Yeah, when I used to work at the Mind, Body and Spirit events and take teacups, and people go, oh, are you a good tea leaf reader? And I say, pick a cup. If I'm right with the cup, then you buy a tea leaf reading off me. And I was never wrong. And actually, I've convinced people who were quite sceptical, convinced them by by the story of the teacup, never mind the tea leaves. So I'm waiting for Cheryl to tell us a number between 1 and 47. All right. Number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, you're going to like this one, Cheryl. Right. At this point, I'm glad we're not in a spiritualist church on a Sunday for a divine service. This cup is a quirky one. It's a modern one. It's farmyard. So you've got a little sheep, a cockerel, and there's a cow on the inside. Okay. So what this cup tells me about you, Cheryl, is you try to balance everybody else's needs. I wouldn't be surprised if you either live or work in an environment where the dynamics are rather challenging. Okay, but you're having to keep that balance. That's your job, to keep that balance. This cup's a wide mouth one, and what the wide mouth cups tell me is that you never quite get what you need. You'll get something that's good enough, like sort of second best, and you'll accept it because you are too busy giving and sharing to other people. This cup also tells me that you're sometimes you're a little bit of a soft touch, and you might be saying no, no, no. Oh, go on then. Okay. But certainly this is for show. If you put a cup of tea in, if you put tea in this, it's cold before you get to drink it. What I want to talk about is there is somebody around you who likes to hear their own voice, who likes to think that they're, let's put it bluntly, cock of the roost. And we've got others who at the moment are acting as sheep and following that voice, but that voice hasn't got the substance. There's a lot of show, but there isn't the substance behind what they're saying. Okay, they're absolutely convinced they're right. However, it's your role that I'm more interested in, and this little cow on the inside. Now, when I first got this cup, I had to ask Mr. Csazar, because his grandmother in spirit from Transylvania works with me. She was a coffee grind reader, and she works with me on tea leaf readings and coffee grind readings. And I looked at this cup and I could hear in Romanian a story, like a proverb. And what this proverb is about is, you know, when you are the one who is working hard to make the nourishment and the safe home for everybody, there is always somebody will poo-poo on the ground in front of you. And that's what this little cow is all about. You taking the rubbish that everybody else is churning out and then having to recreate it as something positive, as something supportive, nourishing, and a perfect environment for everybody. So this is very much about you, how you, oh, you put that sounds like you to a T, but it is very much everybody knows that you are the one that will provide, whatever the crisis, whatever mess they've made, they know that you will be the one to provide. However, they don't help things along, do they? They don't help things along. Right, I can feel a lady's energy. She is mature. I want to put her, I think I want to put her at a grandma. Okay, it's the way she makes me feel, and she makes me feel we're in an older style environment kitchen. I just feel that I am cooking 3 different dinners. I'm very much one of those who has my husband's dinner on the table at a certain time, but I'm getting something ready for tomorrow. I'm getting ready for something else. A visitor's walked in, and it's, have you had anything to eat yet? Because I'm dishing up. But it does feel like the way I'm clairsentient, but it feels like we're dishing up stew and thick soups rather than a broth. But I can smell, so there was a beautiful smell of cooking in her house. I do feel with her, she was very much a home bird, and she was happy to be at home. Okay, she was happy. I feel a little bit matriarchal, not in a dominant sort of way, but matriarchal, in that the family would flock back to see her, and that made her quite comfortable. Now she's saying, you're doing all this running around, but you haven't got the loyalty that she had. Okay, and that is her concern. But it's like she was always seen as mum and grandma and had that revered status, whereas you've got lots of labels that look like chief cook and bottle washer, Cinderella, you know, Mrs. Mop, and she's just a little bit concerned that you are being taken you're taken for granted a little bit, and she wasn't. There was this natural respect for her, but around you there's a little bit of taking you for granted, and she's concerned. So for her, there's an issue about you either giving less to people until they learn to, so it's more transactional, reciprocal. I will help you if you are respectful to me. If you're not respectful, then you're not getting the support that you need. But she does tell me that you've been rolling your eyeballs a lot. So there is somebody whose behaviour has been exasperating, and she's just chuckling at that. I do feel with her, she enjoyed the young children around her, and it's as if, as they're toddlers and up to 6, 7, 8, before they get to that bit where they're answering back, absolutely thoroughly enjoying those kids. And then she's just said she didn't like teenagers. But she's like, they can be challenging, but she's absolutely lovely. Please take her love. Just know she's a little bit concerned that you're not getting the respect that you deserve at this time. And thank you for picking this cup and letting me tell my version of the Romanian proverb. So thank you very much for that. Right. Oh, Cheryl, I'm sorry you feel, but no. Well, if you feel like that, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know already. So let's pop those cups there. I'm going to ask Richard to find me number 5, please. Who's positioned at number 5 at the moment? And I'll do their little reading next. So first name again for me. Mary Dixie. Hello, my love. Right. Mary, my love, would you choose me a number between 1 and 46, please? And I take it, Mary, that you know Cheryl. You know what I miss about being in spiritualist churches, when you're giving a message to somebody and the person next to them or the person behind is nodding like a donkey and they're going, no, don't know. Love it. Okay, so we're waiting for Mary's number and then I'll get cracking with her reading. Hesville, good evening, welcome. And Lauren, good evening. Oh no, I've said hello to you, but thank you for your feedback there. Oh, I know Catherine Turner. If you look, there's a likeness. My sister, good evening, sis. And Steph Ayres, good evening, sweetheart. I will forgive you for being late. And Siobhan O'Rourke, good evening, sweetheart. Nice to have you here, and thank you for that. Oh, Deb, you're familiar with the Soul of the Rose. Absolutely love it. I've had it some years. It's moved house several times with me. And thank you very much. Right, number 46, that's the last one. Oh, I like this one. I like them all, but I like this one. I wish I was 46. Right, this is a lovely cup. Let's see if I can just get it right. Now, when you look at it, it's called a chintz pattern. But when you look at it, anybody who's a scryer and sees things jumping out will see something in this. And usually every time I use it, I see something quite different. Okay, and I have. Right. First of all, Mary, what I want to say is people around you, they need to remember that you, this is going to come out rude, and I'm sorry, it's not intended to be rude, but they do need to realise and remember that you have had a life, you have been to places, you have done things, you have had experiences, you are not as green looking as you are cabbage looking. Let's put it that way. What I'm very aware of as I was looking at the cup that way is I saw a flower that is not actually on the cup. And I want to talk about the sunflower for you. So there is good reason right now why you should be conserving your energy and making sure that you've got enough energy to get you through. And I want to say the next 7 or 8 weeks. Okay. The sunflowers have got lots of B6 in them, and so it is all about your stamina, all right, that your physical stamina. But I also want it about your emotional stamina as well. And I do want to brighten you up with that lovely strong orangey yellow of the sunflower petals. Right. I can't tell what's happening with you, but what I do feel is that we need a little bit more get up and go every morning. Now, I'm all right saying that because I'm not a morning person at all, but I feel as if I need to give you something to look forward to, something for mental stimulation, intellectual stimulation every day to keep you busy and to keep you strong. Okay, I also want to talk about a lady. I'm just going to show it that way again because I could see it when it was faced away from me. Right, I want to talk about a lady. I'm seeing her on the cup, but I'm hoping she's going to come as spirit and talk to me. A lady who we always remember her for wearing a hat, but it's almost like a beret. It's a band and then a poof on it. And that feels like her everyday hat. Right, she makes me feel, this is going to be awful, you'll think I walk down the street thinking how to describe women and I don't, but she feels quite square. I want to say that this is a lady who square across the shoulders. I haven't, I've put a little bit of extra weight on, but I have got a lady who would not have coped very well with the change, you know, the age-related hormonal shift. She wouldn't have coped very well with it, and I feel a sort of a squareness, a change in her jawline as she's become more mature. I also want to talk about her being, I can feel her now, a lady who could be quite direct and quite indiscriminate about what she said, how she said it. And it's not that she meant it nastily, it's just that that's how it came out. She was quite brusque. That's the word she's given me, quite brusque. Right. Mary, do you know sometimes from spirit we sort of get a telling off, don't we? Because I've said, well, what do you want with Mary? And it is to fetch that brusqueness, as if she's giving you a little bit of a telling off, a little bit of a nudge to get you back into the rhythm of life and enjoying life and being enthusiastic, and always keeping yourself busy. I haven't got it in front of me. She makes me, I'm just looking to see if I've got it near me. I haven't. She makes me want to open, I've got a book, Silver Birch Anthology. She makes me feel as if I want to open it at random and just take whatever passage, paragraph my finger lands on. So will you please, Mary, if you are involved in, actively involved in spiritualism and you've got access to books on philosophy, will you please, if you've got something by Silver Birch, please open it. If not, if you know somebody else who has got a book by Silver Birch, please just ask them to think of you for a moment, open it, find that passage for you. Silver Birch is a really influential teacher, and I do feel there's a message there for you. I also want to talk about hostas. Why hostas? Okay, hostas, right. It is that no flies on me thing again. Slugs absolutely love hostas, but the way I'm feeling it, it's a hosta that's got no slug nibbles on it, and so that for me is all about saying there's no flies on me. You know, I don't know what people are thinking or commenting about you, Mary, but there are no flies on you, and they need to remember that you've actually had, I'm going to say, a life and a half, and they need to remember and respect you for that, and respect the knowledge and the wisdom that you have. Right, you've got lots of spiritual books. Get your hand on one of your, whichever of your Silver Birch you are drawn to, get it, find the random paragraph and read it, and the message will be there for you. Okay, thank you very much, Mary. No, a lot of people don't like hostas. They're a funny one. Right, okay. So Richard, I need the next candidate, and I will be looking for person who's at number 20. Oh, I've picked Richard again. Right, well, who's at number 40 right now? Right, Rhonda Robertson, you've been picked, sweetheart. So if you would choose me a number between 1 and 44, that would be great. As quick as a flash. And we'll get going with this. I'll just have a little. Good evening to Kelly Rocket, and thank you for coming along. Oh, lovely, Mary. Yeah, I got to the point where it's like, don't even try. But make sure everybody does respect you. Nobody comes and talks to you like you're a fool. They mustn't. Right, so we're just waiting for Rhonda to give us a number between 1 and 44. Is it? No, 1 and 45 it is. I see I'm not watching, I'm not counting. Richard's counting tonight, so I don't have to. Yeah. Okay. So, number 39. Right, 9, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Look at this beautiful cup. This cup is not for drinking tea with, it's just for show. However, it has been used and abused, so it's got lots of cracks and stains on the inside, bless it. Okay, now I'm going to say it's beautiful water lily. It's by a company called Carlton, known as Carlton Ware, and Carlton Ware always has somewhere on it some nasty brown, and it just looks like a worm on this one, but it's actually got a little water lily bud. Okay, really important. What it says, Rhonda, is that you have learned as much as you can in a situation. I feel with you, even though you've had your own ups and downs in life, you have been by default the leader, organizer and coordinator for everybody else. And I say by default because you've had to learn as you've gone along. Okay, so whatever you've been going through as a family group, whatever you've been going through personally, other people have been coming behind you going, what do we do now? What do we do now? And you've only ever tried to do your best. And that's all that's ever been asked of you, is to do your best. Okay, the saucer to this cup is really important, and I don't have the saucers with me tonight, they're all in the boxes behind me. But this, the saucer to this cup tells the story of you juggling other people whose emotions are quite up and down. And if you can imagine the water lily flowers on a pond, you're like that little frog that jumps from one to the other, and you're not trying to upset them, you're trying very gently to help them stay afloat. So whether that's your work or whether that's your family circumstance, I don't know. But what I want to say is, will you please just make sure that you are not giving, and there is no more left to give, that you've done everything you can. The little flower for you is, let me just put it a little bit closer, the little bud is all about something new that you want. Okay, that you want. It's something that is more in the pipeline than actually starting to come together. And this cup says, okay, as long as you accept that in that one situation you have done as much as you can and you need to be pulling out now, then that newness will come along, that new opportunity will come along to you. Right, I can feel a gentleman's energy. He's making my left eye go a little bit funny, like it's a little bit cloudy, and I can't quite see clearly from it. What do you want to say to her? Right. Okay. What he's talking about is birthdays. I don't feel he's talking about it being a particular month or a particular date. Birthdays. Rhonda, you are the one that remembers everything for everyone. Okay, and he's right. There's a humour in this gentleman, but his humour would not have been everybody's cup of tea. I'm going to put it like that. He is saying that anybody would think that you were the only one blessed with brain cells. I think I could have found a different way, but it was important that I said it how he said it. Anybody would think you were the only one blessed with brain cells, because everybody relies on you to remember, to know what needs to happen. So you're the key project manager in life at the moment. But actually he's gone very humble, and he wants to say that without you things would have gone up the Swanee. So things would have gone quite wrong if it hadn't been for you helping. He gives me the feeling that you were around to help and support around him, maybe not directly hands-on, but there was a lot more in the background. Right, okay. He's telling me that you were one of those little children that had, the big eyes, the lovely little smiley face, as if you were you were the tonic and the medicine for a family at a time of stress and distress. And that label has stuck with you very much since you have been a child. You've grown more and more into that role as an adult. He says, I think it's time we let it go. Okay, so he's suggesting that we need to look at how it is that you became the family carer, the family support worker, the family organizer and personal secretary, and the origins of that. Okay, he says you must do something for yourself. He's also giving me a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. I feel it goes in. You've got a lot of the pieces. It's the center of the image that you're not clear about, and he's giving me this piece as if it's one of the pieces, one of the last 4 or 5 pieces in the center of this jigsaw puzzle. And he said, you don't have to wait to have all the pieces. Right, it's like playing catchphrase. We have enough of the picture to know what it's of. Okay, my love. So I'm going to leave that with you and say God bless you. This gentleman is, he's a gentleman. He's very much a gentleman. And he would have been very, I'm going to say gracious, as in courteous and gracious. And he says, you only lose your temper when you're away from the person that you're cross with. All right. So will you also think about who it is who gets the backlash? Because he's given me the impression the person who gets the, you know, who you show your upset to is not the person who deserves to take the pain of that. Okay, bless you, my love. Right, okay, you feel unsure of what to do. Right, the gentleman's he's just given me, sit down, put your feet up. That's all he said, sit down, put your feet up, in answer to I'm unsure of what to do. So pull back from it a little bit, pull back from the responsibilities just a little bit, even if it's only for 5 minutes, and just close your eyes, send up your thoughts to spirit and ask them to come close and guide you, point you in the right direction. But a lot of it is to do with not being this carer, supporter, coordinator, Cinderella, everything to everyone. Okay, bless you, sweetheart. Right. Okay, so I would like to ask Richard to tell me who's in position number 1 on the watchers list. And can I just say whilst... Okay. Hello, Tracy. Tracy's my friend. And she's had some lovely good news today. So hello, sweetheart. Thank you for coming along and supporting. Rachel Knox, my love, you're it. If you could pick a number between 1 and 44. Oh dear. Was I jumping the gun there, Richard? Sorry, we're having a little conversation about playground games. You're it. So Rachel Knox, if you would pick a number between 1 and 44, please. And I'll do your little teacup reading for you. That'd be lovely. Right. Number 16. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Right. So Rachel, you were watching earlier when I was talking to the other lady about the wide mouth cups. This is beautiful. Look at this. It's from a pottery called Royal Grafton, and it's another cup that's for show only. Okay, but these wide mouth cups, in my interpretation, are about the people who give and give and give. Okay, my love? And when people look at you, they look at you and they go, oh, business as usual, Rachel's all right. All right, they know that you've had struggles, they know you've had losses and upsets, but they still look at you and expect you to be exactly the same. So we've got this, business as usual. People expect you to listen, people expect you to come up with some wonderful advice for them, but they are not interested on what's happening on the inside. And what's happening on the inside does not mirror this business as usual. All right, does not mirror this. I'm coping, I'm all right. Right, because the inside of this cup is incredibly busy. Okay. So what this one's all about is thinking, overthinking, mental agitation. It's also about trying to find the patterns, trying to understand the rhyme and the reason about what's been happening. Okay. I also know from this cup that you have been sending your thoughts up to spirit. You have been praying intensely. All right. But what I want to say is those answers are around you. However, you're not relaxing and putting yourself in a position for long enough that you can actually receive that information, and all that thinking and overthinking just settle, and the sediments settle, so you can actually see what you're supposed to be looking at. Okay. Now down in the bottom of this cup, there's some lovely, lovely flowers, and I'm just going to look into it, and the cup will tell me which ones it wants to go to. All right. Right, there is in here, there is like a lovely little yellow, and it's a tea rose, so it's one of the tiny ones, rather than the big roses. Yellow roses for me are always about friendship. So what this cup's saying is, would you please make sure that you discuss some of this with your close friendship circle, your trusted friendship circle. Okay. And they'll not come up with the answers, but sometimes when we put all that information out there, it sort of sorts itself out and the answer comes to us as we're talking about out loud about it. I do feel that the situation you're in and what's troubling your mind and what you're struggling with does have the possibility of taking you one of two directions. One direction is bitter, the other direction is better. Right? The only way to avoid falling into that trap of being bitter and angry and upset and tormented is to introduce self-care. So for anything, and then learning to self-care actually helps us make the better choices, say the better words as we come out of it. And so this cup is, as well as acknowledging what's happening for you, how other people see you, what's happening inside your mind, inside your heart, what we've got is a message of please share this, right? But also self-care. Take that little bit of time to indulge in self-care, because this cup says you don't self-care very well. Okay. And it's all right as saying, oh, go and have a bath with some candles. Well, there are some of us that if we got in the bath, we'd be in it 2 seconds, would be out again, because we cannot settle. Okay, so anything that is an indulgent moment or few of self-care. Okay, I've just had the thought of sitting down watching TV, eating a little tub of ice cream, and if that's self-care and makes you feel better for 5 minutes, then that's what it is. Whatever helps you feel better about you, my love. But there certainly is a message here for you to share that information. And Rachel, sweetheart, I haven't got a communicator in spirit from you, and that's interesting. You're finding it difficult to feel spirit, and if you notice, I paused and I was going, "Are you there? Are you there?" There isn't anybody. So that all that's doing is not saying you're not befriended by spirit, you're not loved by spirit. What it's saying is there is this difficulty, which is where you're at. So anything that stills your mind, anything that brings you that self-care, but whatever is troubling your heart, sweetheart, share it with your trusted friends. All right. And you'll never change people. They'll still look at you and go, oh, she's all right, nothing wrong with her, because they're always after what they want first. All right. So right. Rachel, you'd understand having one granddad that you had a closer bond to than the other. I want a granddad who would be quite the patriarch, is what I want to say. And it's important that you know that his energy is around you. That's all I'm being told. Because this is one of the cups that refers to my granddad as well. Okay, so know that grandpa, this patriarchal grandpa is around you, and he's there, and he just feels like he's stood there like a rock. All right, because I do feel there was no moving him, there was no change in his mind. So he's come as a firm stance, okay, and ask for that essence of that energy to be imparted to you, so you can stand stronger as well. So God bless you there, Rachel. Thank you very much. Right. So, oh right, Richard tells me you're asking if I can come back. I certainly can if I'm invited. I can either come with the teacups, I do flower readings, I do straight mediumship. I'll do anything that Spirit asks me to do, actually. Where did I get all the cups from? A lot of the cups I've bought second hand. A lot of the cups I've had to buy a full tea service so I can have one for the talking teacups. Some have been gifted to me. Some have been found in charity shops by other people. I have a friend who is averse to going in charity shops, and she walked straight into one, got the cup, paid for it, walked out again. I have some that, if I say they were swapsies from vintage tea rooms, I went with those, a couple of spare ones in my handbag, and I swapped them for something else. So it's all right. The lady at the tea room knows I did it now. So she watches very carefully. And I have a lady who deals in antique china, and quite often she'll let me know when she's got something that I might be interested in. So they come from all different places. There's a couple here in the selection that you've got tonight that my sister went china shopping with me, and my sister was able to interpret them and give me them and say, this means this, this means this. So people do look out for them for me. And I'm getting to the point now where I say quite often, I've got that one already, thank you. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for those people who've allowed me to do a little teacup reading for them, and those whose loved ones have come through. Thank you for joining tonight, so I can have a little feel of your loved ones in spirit. What I would like to say is, and this is on behalf of SPtv, they are a not-for-profit organisation, and if you are in a position to drop them a donation of any size, it will be gratefully appreciated, and it will certainly help with some of the costs that they're meeting personally from their own pockets. So that would be very kind of you. Thank you. Are we done for time, Richard? Right. No, it's not. All right. So, right. Right. So tomorrow night, Ellie Charles, who's a spiritual medium, will be coming on to SPtv, and she will be bringing messages from your loved ones. That's 8 o'clock tomorrow UK time, here on the YouTube channel. And she's a lovely lady. Come along if you've got nothing else to do. Come along, share the night. And it's not always about getting a message ourselves. It's sometimes just enjoying the comfort that others get from those messages as well. And if you would like to please share the SPtv, tell your friends, get more people involved, because the number of services and different shows that are presented is incredible. There's such a range, there's something for everybody to learn, and so please share amongst your friends. Thank you very much. All right, yes, very kindly Richard just prompted me to say that if you would like to message me at Madam Csazar on Facebook, then you are more than welcome to. And if you do, then just mention that you saw me on SPtv, and well, I'll say hi to you. I'll talk to anybody. So thank you so much. Thank you very much for your comments and for your support. And for the feedback as well. Thank you very much. It is much appreciated. I hope to come back and see you again if I'm invited to. And please continue enjoying Spiritual Psychics TV. Good night and God bless everybody. Thank you.